Yep.
Well, Chris, that was a great discussion about temperament, and I think we got some interesting insight about why you might do what you do. What I like to do now is there's actually 4 different types of improvisers. So I'd like to look at as different interaction styles. That's all about the natural energy, pace and movement in terms of how you engage with others to be able to be impressive and be hands-on. So let me just again, there are 4 interaction styles. So again, we've got a visual for each. This one tends to be quite thoughtful, thinking through steps and milestones to get the desired goal. This one tends to be more reflective, gather lots of data, and then give their contribution when it will really help to improve the quality of the result. This one is really engaged in keeping people engaged, involved, pretty energetic, expressive energy. This one is pretty direct, to the point, quick time orientation. Now we can use all 4 of these energies at different times. Chart the course, are you familiar with the term chart the course?
Yes.
From sailing?
Sailing, yes.
That's it? Behind the scenes?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's those 2 are sort of, this is the rallying cry and this is
the boss.
The boss, yeah. So looking at these, again, similar process, if you could just talk to me about which words sort of appeal to you or...
Okay. I would say conscientious.
Conscientious?
Which is in...
that's interesting. So tell me what you mean by conscientious.
I suppose hardworking, have to get it done, motivated to do things and get things done that are internal, as opposed to, you can tell me to do it, but I'm going to put that aside until I get this done because that's my priority.
That's your priority.
Yeah, but that's also influenced by the people down here. Yeah. Like the in charge say, I need this today, blah, blah, blah. And I go, oh yeah.
So conscientious in terms of your own...
Absolutely, and it has to be right, and it has to be quality, and it has to be done exactly right. And and if it's not done right, I get very upset.
So that's interesting because this one really has a focus on the best quality.
I'm the quality assurance officer for the school as well.
Tell me more about that.
In Australia, the training is all quality. You have to follow a quality model. And I've always been the quality person and have to go through the audits. And before I came here this morning, I just did a mini audit on 8 files, found 6 incorrect. So there's a bomb going under people
Yes.
because that's it's not right. So you have to do it.
You have to do it. So give me other examples of the quality, please.
Okay. You have to have the right material in there. It has to be correct. You can't just give anything just to fill in the blank spaces. So it's got to be correct, it's got to be right, it has to be clear. So it has to be in procedural form, like clear, and all those sorts of things. So I do a lot of writing. So headings, subheadings, dot points. A lot of words aren't going to be appropriate. So and then it goes off to industry. So then I take it to industry and say, is this right? Then bring it back and fix it.
So it does sound like a pursuit of quality.
Yeah. So that's what there. Whereas I have to do some of these other things within my role, and I find that quite a challenge.
So tell me, are there any words that are really appeal to you out of any of these others? This feels like
that's more the task orientated and solitary. I like those sorts of work, and informed and monitoring, because I can actually, that's the sort of stuff I find easy.
Right. So give me an example. So task oriented, tell me more about that.
Well, I have charts. I have spreadsheets that I actually work against, and I've just fixed them up yesterday actually. And because I
do you use those spreadsheets?
Why do I use them? Because I have to know what's being done and in what order it's being done, and is it getting done in the correct order.
So there is a monitoring now. isn't
There's a
there?
monitoring,
Interesting.
yeah. So I have to
Interesting.
do that. And actually the solitary appeals to me because I sit in an office with, I don't want a window. I don't want anything, and I want to be able to shut the door so people can't come near me.
That's very interesting because you seem, one-on-one, you seem quite gregarious.
Yeah, but
So
you
tell me
put
about
me in a
that.
group situation and I'll be the one hiding in the corner. I don't want to, I can't deal with it.
Right.
You know, at work we go to networking things. I'll go with someone who can speak to people, but then I'll sell the product. I can sell the product, but I can't make that initial conversation
Why can you sell the product?
because I know it and love it. Passion and quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can do that, but I can't, like, at the dinner we have or something like that, I'll be the one. But if you have a group of, as you know, 4 or 5 friends, I'll be the clown in the corner having a joke and a drink. But that's people I know and trust. If I don't trust you, I won't do that.
So are there any times when you see yourself using this sort of energy?
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
These two seem slightly stronger right now.
Yeah. Sometimes I've got to do this in charge. I don't like it.
Why not?
I don't like confrontation. I hate confrontation, but I have to do it all the time at work and go in and tell people or then I have to get to best result for everyone. It's like I can't tread on people to do this, so that I find that quite a challenge.
Yes, that feels like that's too intrusive.
That's too intrusive, and I mean, some people can go up and do that, and if I'm angry enough, I can.
Yeah, so maybe you switch to that.
I can switch to that if I need to. And as I say, if you then step on this, I can do this really easily.
That feels like, this sort of feels like the shadow side.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that really easily if you get the quality and you have a go. I can argue back very well.
And what about this one? Ever find yourself in that energy? You tend to use different energies at
yeah, we
different
do.
times.
Yeah, I can do the persuasive quite well.
Yeah.
If you challenge me on a theory or something, I can argue back. But that comes back to what we were talking before on the other ones with the thinking.
Yes.
I like to there. And brainstorming, I like brainstorming.
Yeah.
I really like that because I think it's a good way of gathering in other people's knowledge, but I gather other people's knowledge then to put it back into the behind the scenes. Yeah, so I gather knowledge, put that back in,
Yeah.
do a lot of facilitating, a lot of talking because people will come and talk to me.
Right.
And I pull in their knowledge and pull in their information and things like that. And yeah, I don't know, informing, connecting. I don't know, but this one I can see in other people, but not in myself.
Not in yourself. So if you sort of wanted to rank them, because how would you rank them?
I'd probably go that one. I find these two interchangeable, and that would be last. Depending on once again, on my day, I would say
Yeah.
you would go like that.
Yeah, if someone hasn't done what they need to, I'm going to go and tell them.
I'll go and tell them.
Yeah.
And it's like, let me at them, and I'm like that. But, and it seriously is, they get scared.
Yeah. I see behind the scenes you can flip it, sort of that's when
Absolutely.
that goes to in charge.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So but sometimes this task, I would then put it like that,
Yeah.
depending on what I'm doing at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can flip, whereas this one, that's for someone else. I'm not really interested. Not really. Get things going. I'm the one who gets things going by doing this.
Yes. So it's a subtle way of getting things going.
Yeah. So you can't do the end product where I work unless you've got this done. Because trainers can't go out and train unless I've got all the product there
It's the right one.
and it's the right quality. So
Thank you.
that's mine.
Great subject.
I know. Yes. Because this is a very unusual type preference, I
Yeah.
think, ISFP really, and often very misunderstood. I think in the MBTI assessment often will assess as taking the assessment, Chris, what have you assessed as? Because we're going to go back and validate with the cognitive process, but we're looking at probably
I'm on the indicator, I'm very strong N. And I am absolutely an S.
One of the issues, I was talking with Angelina Bennett, who's done a lot of work on ego development, and she was saying that one of the challenges still with the MBTI is that so much of the descriptions of sensing are of introverted sensing, which is used by stabilizers, versus extroverted sensing, which is used by improvisers. And improvisers, extroverted sensing looks, a lot of those questions look intuitive.
My daughter's ISFP and school ISFP, but you can tell she's ISFP because of her language.
Yes.
That she smells stuff, she touches stuff,
Oh,
she
yeah,
observes stuff.
Yeah,
She's just
take me to a fabric shop. I can't.
she smells books.
Absolutely, I do
She,
that all the
her
time.
hearing is so finely
Yeah.
tuned, she can hear you from 5 rooms away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clothing as well for SPs.
Yeah.
Very in tune with colour.
Oh yeah, I'm a colour girl.
So I mean, your understanding of what colours suit you is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, you dress beautifully and everything.
Colour and
coordinated.
style.
Style, yeah.
Style
The
is
aesthetic
very,
sense
yeah.
often with the influencer.
When Chris was talking about the brainstorming, people come to me, I get their ideas. That was a fantastic description of the arrows.
Yes,
Sucking
it
it in.
was.
Sucking it in,
Sucking in,
synthesizing,
sucking in.
and giving
She was
those
using it
kids
as
the product.
I can't talk without using my hands.
Yeah.
And I thought as you were
It was
talking,
very
she
good.
actually was
Yeah.
demonstrating the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well-
pulling it in,
Yeah.
synthesizing it out, it
Yeah.
comes great observation.
Yeah.
I would say, listening to you, that you appreciate theory.
Oh,
It serves
absolutely.
your purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. And so when you're doing the questionnaire, you'd be sometimes saying, oh yeah, I like that.
I've been through the
Yeah.
questionnaire, the Type 2, is it
Step two?
Step 2 questionnaire, before we went to Miami
Yeah.
last year. I sent it off to Peter Geyer, and we spent 2 or 3 hours going through every single thing. So, because he's an INTP and very theoretical and have to know, he was saying, well, why did you say that? Why did you agree with that word? And I went,
I wish I'd recorded that.
because, I'll do it with you if you like, because of blah, blah, blah. And he was going, really? You think of it like that? Really? You think of it like that? 'Cause I can put the feeling side into those words that comes out as an N. And he was just, he didn't even perceive that someone would actually think in that manner. Because I'm always looking for the soft side. I'm always looking for the good side in people and in things, and having to do that. And then I always get bashed because I always think people will do the right thing, and they don't, of course.
And when we look at the cognitive processes, we'll see that we'll see some of those cognitive processes coming out.
You know, you were just saying with the SNA it comes out perhaps N,
Mm.
and with the MBTI, what about the majors? Does that overcome that?
Not really. I mean, I think with any assessment tool, I haven't.
It's
that's
written
why I
by
don't-
ends.
It's
The
written
whole
by
thing is it's all
intuitive,
written by
so-
ends.
And that's why I
Oh,
think
right,
you'll
yeah.
get either through the self-exploration using cards, the groups, the card sets, or the one-on-one. I mean, we actually cover an incredible amount of detail just by using those cards.
So you can see so much just in watching her that she's not a
Yeah.
which you can't give an assessment
Yeah.
at all.
So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, what's the value really of the assessment tools?
It's a very good question.
Some people
Okay,
use
so
not to ask the
it's-
question.
It is, so the value of assessment tools is that they can provide another data point.
Yes, it is. It's
And that
different.
for individuals, at that data point, you know, some self-exploration, some feedback is all good. The challenge can be when that data point is taken in isolation and
Or given too much power.
or given too much
Yeah.
power. And certainly for stabilizers, I think it's a concern. Oh, I've taken the test and this is what it
This is
tells me.
what I am.
And so I have to keep going. This is about preferences, not prediction. Just because you prefer something doesn't predict you'll act this way. So, and I think an assessment tool, because it's paper and pen or on a screen, it's given more credence
But
then
also
what?
a lot of practitioners will just hand
They
that
will.
and they won't actually do it.
They do the
proper.
test and tell.
Yeah,
Here's
they
what you
test-
are.
Yeah, and people have no idea, and so, yeah, because they paid big money for it,
Yeah.
and it's got so expensive. that
Yes,
people
so
probably
I stopped
don't.
using the assessment tool with groups in about 1998 because people would go through the self-assessment of temperament, and that's how cognitive processes. And with one group I did with Oracle, there were 80 people, and I think something like 60 out of the 80 tested differently to their four-letter type preferences as indicated by the MBTI, and they said, what on earth, and there were a lot of improvisers. They said, what on earth are we doing wasting our time and money doing this? So I think it gives a data point as long as it's qualified that way.
But you know, given that you're going to go through best fit and whatever processes for doing that, that's going to take you anyway, isn't it? Regardless of whether you did the assessment. I'm just thinking about it as we're talking.
Some
What
executives
would
like to do it.
They do.
Some people have a need for it, yeah.
And you know, there's I forget the name, there's one of the insights tool that's really big in England at the moment. People
Oh,
love it because they get all these different colours, 72 sort of quadrants and colours, and I just think
Andy
it's a lot of
Lothian.
gobbledygook, honestly, but people love expensive reports.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing.
With more
Human nature.
information.
Yeah,
That they don't use.
which they don't use.
And that they don't understand.
They don't. I mean, I had a classic experience. I was running a workshop in Speedo, and this lovely lady came and she said, I've just done Insight. She said, and I'm everything, so I'm immediately thinking improviser. And I said, oh, that's great, no problem. I said, we'll go through the self-assessment process, no pressure on you at all, no pressure on you at all. And she said, not only did they give me an expensive printout, she said, but they gave me another expensive printout for people who don't fit into any of the four quadrants. So I thought, well, that's great. So the temperament knows she wouldn't go there. I'm all over the place. She got behind the scenes, absolutely. And I said, okay. And she said, what? I said, what type of learner are you? Really hands-on, practical learner. Okay. We've now gone behind the scenes, either improviser or stabilizer. How structured are you? I don't really like structure. I like to act in the moment. There she was, behind the scenes improviser. And the assessment was 30 pages and then another 20 pages.
That's ridiculous.
Gobbledygook.
Andy Lothian asked to do research with me 2 years back, and so I got hold of his questionnaire, and I can tell you all the questions are the judging processes, and for a start, no perception questions, and they were mixed up between traits and nouns and verbs, and it's all over the place. He'd spent millions with these questionnaires, and so I wrote back, and he said, do you mind if my doctors all read this? I said, yeah, you know. So I wrote an intensive analysis of everything he'd done. I said, look, give up trying to be like Carl Jung and the MBTI. Just give it up and just be yourself. But he would advertise that he was the best questionnaire in the world. I said, that's on your website. He said, is it? You know, I said, yes, get it off. You're stupid. You're embarrassing yourself.
Huh?
Don't beat about the bush.
In a loving way.
Anyway, he got his hands printed and he said, can you tell if I'm ENFP or ENTP? You know? And so I said,
That's another category then.
ENTP, he was disappointed. Oh,
Well, can I just say that I use the cards really regularly to get people off the fence when they can't decide between two types.
Yes.
You know, I had an ESTJ and ISTJ. I just showed her
Yeah.
the chart the course or in charge card. It's in seconds. It's
Yeah.
just immediate.
And it's sort of enjoyable too, because it's so
Yeah.
interactive.
It's
and
interactive.
Yeah.
you obviously feed off the person and
Yeah.
Yeah,
pull out more.
exactly
Like,
right.
you didn't stop. I mean, you just were so
I'm
stimulated.
not like that anymore.
But people do like talking about themselves, and it gives a wonderful opportunity to do that. You
It
know,
gives a big
yeah.
to do that.
The other thing I do is that there are two other sets of cards, which are the personality puzzles. And when you've got to this point, you can in fact go to whole type and look at a card that's got the whole type description.
Yeah.
There's two of them. There's one that I use in business, which is the classic card, and it just looks at